They patrol streets around the state as special deputies, but often they're not trained. Your county sheriff swears in special deputies who volunteer their time, but how they're used by sheriffs around Kentucky led to a WKYT investigation. Miranda Combs has the story.
And I got hit over the head several times.
It was 2007, 6 staples and multiple other injuries in Whitley County.
Hit here, hit there. I got blood vessels busted right there in my face.
Christopher Brewer said Tony Ramey showed up at his home wanting a gun back. Tony Ramey, at the time, was a special deputy for the Whitley County Sheriff's Department.
I was just wishing somebody would see it, the neighbors, and call the cops, and the cops would get there so it would be over. But he kept saying he was the police, and that was very scary.
Well, most people don't even realize there's such a thing as a special deputy or a volunteer deputy or any distinction between the two.
Hal Friedman sued Whitley County, the Sheriff's Department, the sheriff, and Ramey. In 2010, a federal jury said Brewer should get more than $6 million for his injuries.
When you give someone a badge and don't supervise or control them, there can be very bad consequences, and that's precisely what I think the verdict indicated.
This is where most law enforcement officers are trained in Kentucky, the Department of Criminal Justice Training in Richmond. Records of all certified officers are kept here and complaints against them. But what you won't find here is a list of special deputies. Special deputies are appointed by the sheriff and sworn in. But the difference is state statute says they can't be paid, and it doesn't require them to get any training before they serve.
A search of Kentucky special deputies will take you to Harlan County. A special deputy there was charged with murder in 2007 and later found not guilty. In Pike County, a special deputy was charged with DUI and later pleaded guilty to reckless driving.
I would say that the majority of the public, if they're confronted with an individual who has a badge and indicates that they're a deputy of some kind, is going to assume that person has lawful authority to do what they're doing. But that may not always be the case.
It can be hard to figure out which deputies are special deputies and don't require training, and which are certified by the state, especially in Breathitt County, where the department has 6 special deputies. Recently, the Sheriff's Department made a front-page drug bust with federal marshals. Also, in the same time frame, this arrest citation shows a special deputy made a meth arrest. He writes in his report that he was running surveillance on drug complaints. Being a special deputy, he is not required to have training. We watched deputies come in and out of the Breathitt County Sheriff's Office for nearly an entire day, wearing sheriff's uniforms, carrying guns, even driving four-wheel drive SUVs. And if you're curious who they belong to, just look on the driver's side door. Inside this patrol car, the Kentucky Uniform Citation Book.
Hey, Sheriff, how are you?
Hey, Miranda Combs. How are you doing? Sheriff Clemens?
This is Breathitt County Sheriff Ray Clemens. He told us he has 1 certified deputy and 6 special deputies.
And they do anything that any other deputy would do?
Anything that,
Clemens told us his special deputies are trained, but that he'd have to look at the bylaws to tell us more. We didn't make an appointment for our interview.
Are they paid?
No.
But they drive your vehicles?
They volunteer.
Do they carry your weapons?
Yeah.
So they do all that?
Yeah.
Do they take their vehicles home?
Yeah.
That's just part of the deal?
Yeah. They volunteer, they don't get no pay, see. We just got 1 paid deputy, that's all we've got.
Do you understand people's concerns that, sometimes if they are volunteers, that they may not be as up to date on training as, say, your certified deputy would be? Do you see that would be an issue?
The ones we've had have been here for 8 or 9 years, Been through the training years ago, And so they do anything that we can do, you know what I'm saying.
So we wanted to see if the Department of Criminal Justice Training had any record of them. Turns out there's not a single record of training for 4 of the 7 special deputies. As for the other 3, one last had training in 1995, another in 1989. The most current was in 2011, an online class that took 5 hours.
In Anderson County, special deputies don't do everything certified deputies do. In fact, they are specialized.
I have 2.
One is a pilot, the other a chaplain.
They are sworn. It is filed in the clerk's office as required by statute.
Both used, Sheriff Troy Young says, in special circumstances only. They aren't given sheriff's cars or weapons, and they don't wear a uniform matching the sheriff.
It's up to each individual sheriff to follow the statute as far as how he's going to utilize them, if he does.
And the state statute is vague in regard to what a special deputy can do. It does say the deputies are to be used for emergency situations, but an emergency is defined as anything the sheriff believes needs immediate response. Breathitt County Sheriff told me his department couldn't survive without his special deputies, just for the simple fact that he can't afford to pay any more certified deputies than the one he has.
Seems like there's a lot of gray area, and it seems like it would fall back on the county. But what if something were to happen to one of these special deputies?
I reached out to the judge executive multiple times, and he did not get back to me. They are apparently covered by a little bit of insurance, some workers' comp insurance. But as that Whitley County case showed you, the county can be sued. So
you can see where there'd be some confusion in the public as to whether or not they're a certified deputy or a special deputy.
We saw those guys. They
both
were
have
dressed
uniforms,
exactly the
they have
same.
badges,
Yeah.
they have guns, they have cars.
Interesting.
All right, Miranda, thank you.
Yeah.